Hi, welcome to the Action Speak Network. I'm Banazai. In the following clip that I'm going to present to you, there was a very interesting exchange taking place yesterday on CNN. They were talking about the deportations that were done a couple of weeks ago, where a certain number of people were sent to a prison in El Salvador. Certain people on the panel believe that the law that was used to deport these people was not supposed to be used, and they cite certain legal dispositions. Please, let's watch together this exchange on CNN. It takes a couple of minutes. I'm going to see you right after the exchange. Play the clip.
These individual judges are overstepping. What you're essentially saying is that the president, who is the commander-in-chief, cannot determine when we are being invaded. An individual district court judge is going to decide that? No, thank you.
Can I just ask a simple question? Who gets to decide whether the United States is at war?
The president, in my opinion.
No.
If we're being invaded, I want the commander-in-chief to know.
Scott, no. It's actually the Congress.
You're asking if we're being invaded.
I'm asking.
You want to call Congress and see if we're being invaded?
I'm asking a basic constitutional
We'll be taken
question.
over before they ever get to the committee room.
Who gets to decide whether the United States is at war? The answer is Congress.
I'm talking about if we're being invaded.
When the president says we're at war, he has to
show we're actively at war,
and
not
really
a colloquialism.
what he needs to do is go to Congress.
Well, you guys
and
discuss it in committee. We'll let in another 20 minutes.
Wait a second, though. I thought the genius of our system was that we weren't beholden to one guy's opinion. That the genius of the American system of government was that we had three co-equal branches, and in those co-equal branches, decisions were made about how we go about doing things. Now, we want to tear that to shreds so that we can kowtow to one guy's opinion, then we are in a monarchy. We're being ruled.
What's the distinction between strikes and whether the United States is actually at war with an entity or a nation? And there is a distinction. Now, nobody is saying here Trump can't deport people because, Barack Obama deported a lot of people.
And that's
Sochi.
the
Yeah, you remember this.
Yeah.
He deported a lot of people, and he did so based on the existing law. It is possible to do.
It is not an
It
applicable law.
That's right. Go ahead.
Because
as a lawyer,
because
There's
answer
a
balls
determination that law has to be used at wartime when there's
I'm
an
sorry,
invasion.
but war's different than it was in 1812.
No, we cannot use colloquialisms to say, we're generally at war.
The Houthis are not a country, and yet we're bombing them.
But let's be clear about this. Nobody is saying
invaded
that Trump doesn't
every
have
day.
the ability to deport people. He has the ability to deport people, and he should, right? There was a lot of people coming in that should not be here. He has the right to do that. But he's trying to use this act to get around due process. And the court is saying this act does not apply. They're not telling him not to deport. They're saying use the process that's in place because this act does not apply.
As much bureaucracy and red tape as possible.
No,
it's not bureaucracy.
It's not red tape.
It's the law.
What we're trying to do is use the law. The law. I mean, look, is it such a big problem to say you can do things, but you have to do them lawfully? There's a process to
We think
them.
this is lawful.
But it's not.
No, but the
though.
court just said it's
One
not.
judge, one stupid judge, and I want to see what the rest of them say.
How you know it's stupid? You know
Why
it's
is that
else court?
stupid? Because
I guess
he
we have to
disagrees
remind
with the
everybody
assessment
here
of
that
Donald
Trump
Trump.
appointed this judge.
I don't care.
Okay?
Again, it
so this
doesn't
is a
matter.
Trump-appointed judge.
He's not infallible. Judges make stupid decisions all the time.
Well, okay,
so the ruling's
how about
not
this?
actually that
So
big
you
of a
say the
deal.
judge
They
is
said to
stupid.
go back
How do we
to
know
the
that?
second
How do we know that the president is stupid?
I'm sure that's your opinion.
Well, it certainly is.
But he won the election. And
So what does that
I
mean?
don't think anybody. Listen, I don't think anybody is stupid. I think all three branches have the right to operate the way they want. I think the president of the United States has the right to operate based on his opinion because he's voted in. But the judicial branch has the right to interpret the meaning of the law the way they see it.
Can I
That's
ask
their
you a
right.
question? Let me ask you a question.
To make proof of requirement.
This
process
is a
of
key question.
requirement.
What if another group of people, say not illegal aliens, but just some other group from somewhere else, actually came to the shores of the United States, not a nation, but say a group, any kind of group, and actually did come ashore and try to invade, I don't know what else you would call it, the United States? Would you run to court and ask a federal judge if the president of the United States Can we defend the nation now?
But that's
can
not
we
what's
stop
that's
the?
not what we're talking
It
about.
is.
You're
They're coming
conflating different
across.
issues.
They're
You were
coming
also,
across the
you were
border.
also generalizing here. You were
Yes.
talking about, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you, Scott.
But what's the
that
difference?
Hold on,
What's
listen
the
to me.
difference?
Because there will be a
If they're-
declaration of
hold on.
war,
If-
and then
if
the
they're-
act would
if
how
they're-
quickly?
If there
Hold
are
on,
gang
Scott and
members
Dante, let
and
me
if
touch
they
your
are
hand.
killing or raping women in this country, they should absolutely be deported, and there should be deportation orders, and there should be a process, and there is a process to deport them. You are saying that every person that is here illegally
Yes.
is raping people, and
No,
that
I
is
did not
not
say that.
true.
You're lying.
Yes,
You're
you're
lying.
saying they're
You're
all
lying.
part of these gangs.
lying.
They all,
Well,
this is they're
That's
invading
not what I
our
said.
country. They're doing all these things.
You're certainly
They are
associating them.
They're not all violent, but they are all
not all
criminal.
violent.
But
They are
they
not
are
all
all- but
violent.
they are all
And everybody, whether they are 2 years old or whether they are 90 years old and have been in our country the entire time, they deserve a process. The criminals.
I'm sorry,
the
what
criminals
process did they follow to
should
get
leave.
here? The process of breaking our laws?
Well, because there is a law, there are laws in order, and there are deportation proceedings to get these people out of our country.
Listen how long you want this to last.
The 99-year-old who is here did
It'll last
not
forever.
invade our
All
country.
It'll last
right, Batia,
forever.
let me let you get a word in.
Well, to me, like the energy in defense of these gangbangers.
I'm not defending them. I just
Nobody's
said
defending
gang. I said people said gang should
Stan,
leave.
hold on
I
a
feel
second,
like
one at a
that
time,
poem
one
where
at a
it's
time.
like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God, what are you
first they
saying?
came for the guy who beats his wife, and I said nothing because I don't beat my wife. And then they came for the guy who said I love killing Jews, and I said nothing because I don't love killing Jews. And now they came for
Wait,
the gangbangers, and I said nothing.
Can I
because I'm glad
can I say
they came for
can I say
them.
something real quick?
Hold on a
Do
second.
you know why that triggers me? That triggers me because I come from a place where a whole bunch of people, they're American citizens, but they're thrown away. They're thrown away because they might have committed crimes, because they got in trouble when they were young.
You should be the angriest that they care about the gangbangers and not those people.
No, what I care
They
about
should
is
be
that
deported,
there is a
gangbangers.
system of laws that is supposed to protect the due process of those people.
Yeah.
And that has to matter
I
more
am
than what
angry about that.
what
I'm
society
angry that there are black
thinks
people
about
in
whatever
prison
they
who
have
didn't
done.
get due
Hold on a
process.
second, hold on.
I don't know why the Democrats are
So
not
why is it
angry
okay for
about
anybody
that.
else to not get
Because
due
they're not
process?
citizens. We do not owe them the same thing.
Wait, okay.
It has to mean something to be an American.
Batia, you are saying essentially that you don't like the way that the law is applied in this instance, and you would like to change it, which is fine.
I'm not saying that, Abby. I'm saying every other district judge has ruled in Trump's favor.
That's
on
not
this.
true.
That's
That is-
not
that
true.
is- no, no,
Yes,
that
it
is
is.
absolutely not
That's
true.
not
That is
true.
not
That
true.
is
On this
not
case,
true.
No other
That is
judge,
not
and let me
true.
clarify this. This is important.
And
No
by the
other
way,
judge.
it will go to the Supreme
Hold on.
Court.
Let me let Dante
No
finish,
other
and then we gotta
judge
go.
has issued an opinion on this specific issue.
Yes, they've not ruled against it.
No. What the Supreme Court said was the judge that it was in front of did not have the authority to make this decision. It wasn't in the right district, so he sent it to Texas. This is the first judge that's ruled on this actual case of whether or not this rule or this law applies, the Enemies Aliens Act. And they said it does not apply.
Also,
This is the first time it was ruled
Six
on
other
that.
federal judges have issued provisional orders on this issue of whether and how, but really specifically how.
But it's
the
a
Trump
constitutional question, though,
administration
because they
can
think
deport these people.
Because you all are debating the statutes and the judge's right to oversee a statute. What the Trump administration is arguing is that this is a foreign policy issue, and we have sole right under the Constitution to execute American foreign policy. So they actually see themselves as above this conversation about individual judges micromanaging.
And I think
foreign
that
Only
that's a
thing that this act
novel
does is-
interpretation. We got to go, but that's, I mean,
you've heard multiple officials say
Scott,
that.
I think you would acknowledge this is a novel interpretation of.
I would add proper as well.
Okay, novel interpretation of
And
the use
proper.
of this particular statute for
And the only
immigration.
purpose of this use of
Yeah.
this statute is to get around due process. Everything else is the same.
There you have it, folks. On the Action Speak Network, we give you the information as it is. You have your own thoughts and opinions. Please leave them in the comment section. We are going to check them out. I'm going to check them out. Please hit subscribe. Let's get to 1,000. I'm out.